What's going on, everybody? It's Quickfire. This is Live Under Fire Gaming News. This time, I brought a camera. If you're new here, welcome. We go over gaming news, gaming reviews, and overall thoughts on the gaming industry, and we do it live under fire while playing the most hectic games. Mr. Cameraman, can you please put us in a corner somewhere, perhaps behind this rock? Thank you. So folks, I played the Battlefield 6 Early Access Beta, and honestly, from what I can tell you, it is a strong foundation for what's to come. This is a very solid baseline for the next Battlefield game. I'm going to give you guys what I liked and what I disliked about the beta. Mr. Cameraman, before we digest this any further, can you please find out where we are? Move, and I'll talk to the folks here. So yeah, folks, very good baseline for this game in terms of just being an early access beta. The maps aren't overly one-sided. They're packed with destructible environments, and the infantry combat is also amazing, which was one thing I'm really surprised by, is that they managed to really hit the infantry combat with the nail on the head on that one. They managed to hit the nail on the head with that one. Every gun feels like it packs a punch. Kind of like Modern Warfare 2019 gunplay, but with Battlefield's signature bullet spread and trajectory. This is what that level of gunplay is like, in my opinion. So when I say it's a solid, perfect baseline, I mean that it is not perfect. And I'll get into why are we not paying attention? This always happens, dude. Anytime I'm talking about something serious, I always get killed in action by a legit player. Oh my god! Mr. Cameraman, we have a lot to get through today. Can you please quit dilly-dallying? Thank you. Now folks, Battlefield 6, overall, solid, but can be improved. Vehicles are in a good shape as well. Jets feel way smoother than in the 2042 beta, and tanks are better as well, though still a little bit buggy. I'll get into a little bit of the bugs later, but the things that I like, I'll first highlight those. The engineer class, I really like how it plays, exactly how it should. It's an anti-tank specialist with SMGs and carbines as a speciality. The support class, I'm conflicted on. It's both the medic class and the suppressing fire class, and I feel like those roles should be split. You'd have to run two support classes. You'd have to run one support player with the LMG and being the suppressing fire player, okay? And you'd have to run the other with medical duties and focus purely on dragging bodies out and reviving folks. So it's just a very conflicting class overall, and the roles are quite diverse and split, and it's not very... there's no silver lining with the class. Now, the assault class. Now that is a class that is too strong, in my opinion. The assault rifles are dominant across the board in this game, and this class has all the buffs for the particular assault rifles. Plus, it can carry shotguns, DMRs, or an LMG for its, secondary gadget. So basically another primary weapon. And not to mention, it can also carry a hammer to break walls and break through floors, but this is not in the early access beta build. But what is there's an M320 grenade launcher for more destruction and an adrenaline stim for awareness buffs. So right now it's more of a solo carry class than a team focused one. Now, Recon, as a class, I think is solid. Sniper is good, though the beta scope feels a bit cluttered in my opinion. I think once the game fully launches with more scope options, the sniper rifles will be more in choice and also more an attachment choice. And I think Recon will shine even more once the full game comes out. Right now it's got C4, so you can do your classic strap a C4 to the Jeep, drive it into a tank and blow it up. But one thing I will say, which I really like, is that the classes, they have a closed weapons conquest mode, which basically each class has access to its own weapon types. So it's just like old school Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, where it's no ridiculous cross-class loadouts. A sniper is not going to have access to an assault rifle. An assault is not going to have access to a sniper. No ridiculousness there. And, oh, Mr. Cameron, there's someone in front of you. I thought I heard someone. Keep moving forward. Anyways, I'm glad that they added a Conquest closed weapons only mode so that the cross-class open weapons ridiculousness could go away. I think that for every mode this needs to happen. They need to have a Conquest closed weapons game mode, a Breakthrough, a Domination, and a Team Deathmatch closed weapons experience, because that is the truest Battlefield 3-4 experience. Mr. Cameraman, there is a BTR right there. Watch out. Folks, maps are also strong. I would have to say that... what? Okay. Now, the maps. Let's talk about the maps. So far for the maps that I've played 3 out of the 4 beta maps. The 4th one is dropping, I think, next week. It's the New York one that's dropping. But so far I've played Liberation Peak, Siege of Cairo, and the Gibraltar map. And I can say that from what I played, the Siege of Cairo is a tank and infantry focused map with close quarters combat and also medium to long range lanes. Liberation Peak is full on all out warfare with jets, helis, tanks, everything. And as a pilot, I can say that that's my favorite map so far. I'd love to see, on launch, a 24/7 playlist of all the big vehicle maps just in a 24/7 rotation. But this game, it isn't perfect. Tanks still are buggy with sensitivity. Like, the tank sensitivity doesn't match the infantry sensitivity. Jets and helis also turn too slowly in their yaw and pitch. The helicopter third-person camera sometimes also bugs out from the point where it's looking at you from the ground up. And so your third-person view of the helicopter is at an upward angle, and this leads to you basically crashing because you can't see where you're going unless you go into first person. And, explosives as well on buildings, I think, could use some tuning. I found that the grenade launchers, they damage like a section of a corner of like a house, and the RPGs barely do more in terms of damage. Whoa, Mr. Cameron! Someone there! Alright, RPGs do the same amount of damage to buildings as grenade launchers, C4s, they can, however, level entire structures. You see how these problems, they're really just minor fixable issues? And that's the point, right? Is there's no fundamental design flaw with Battlefield 6's early beta, from what I can see. Whereas 2042, there were design flaws. The core design is still very Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, with Battlefield 5 movement. Grounded, satisfying, and fun. And on top of this, there's only 3 maps out right now. So I think at launch there's going to be 9 to 10 maps. So really, we're only seeing a third of the entire game right now. And from what we've seen based on this slice alone, I'm giving an 8 out of 10 so far. Honestly, I think that this is a very solid, genuinely, I think this is very, very solid and a good foundation. I think this is a good foundation. They just need to fix, obviously, the quality of life changes. Really, that's it. But at its core, Battlefield 6 feels like Battlefield again. And I definitely recommend you folks to try this beta. Get an early access code or something, or play the beta, this open beta weekend. Because honestly, this is some of the most fun I've had in Battlefield.